Hi guys, so today's video is all about solo traveling. It's funny because I chose to film this on the coldest day of the year. I have so many layers on. I am in the UK as well right now, but it's also one of the sunniest days, so I have to wear sunglasses, otherwise the sun behind me would be blinding me. So it's cold but sunny and beautiful, and the view right there is stunning, but I just can't film that because otherwise I would be black, so it wouldn't make sense. This video will be perfect for those of you who have never done solo traveling before, because I'm going to be going over all the tips and tricks, things to consider, how to make friends while traveling solo, and really encourage you guys that it's going to be the best experience and you will not regret it. Traveling by yourself is such a wonderful experience. It really helps with your confidence. I have a bunch of general safety tips whilst traveling that I just want to whiz through. Do not walk by yourself at night. And doesn't matter if you are a girl or a guy, if you are in the countries that are generally very safe, very high on the peace safety index, then I suppose you don't have to worry about it so much. Or if you are in an area that's very lively and it's known for being totally safe at night. But a lot of the times you'll be in situations in quieter area where it's just not going to be safe. Do not tell locals who randomly approach you that you are traveling by yourself. Make sure you don't look lost. Make sure you don't look worried. You are way more vulnerable if they know you are traveling by yourself, if you are lost, if they can tell that you don't know the area very well. And they may even tell you the directions that are totally wrong. I can't even tell you how many times I asked for directions and they gave me the wrong directions. For me, the biggest issue is my massive camera that I always carry around because I'm a videographer. I had so many instances of people targeting my camera, and that have kind of taught me that if the area is known for a lot of petty crimes, for stealing, etc., to bring a smaller camera with me. So, you know, any of the flashy objects that can make you look like you've got a lot of money, electronics, expensive jewelry, not recommended. Always have travel insurance no matter where you travel for that country. No matter whether you go traveling for 2 days, 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, you always have to have some sort of insurance. It's shocking to me when I look at the statistics how many people don't actually have travel insurance when they're traveling, and that is so risky. And it's even worse if you are traveling as a host. It's even worse when you don't have a good travel insurance when you travel by yourself. And this is not just for the financial aspects. If you don't have insurance that will cover all of your concerns, the minute you start feeling unwell, you will be panicking. Also, because of COVID, a lot of places won't allow you to enter unless you have COVID insurance. Even if a country doesn't require COVID insurance, you should definitely get it. I mean, I was vaccinated and I still got COVID like a month ago, so you know, don't think about it like, oh, I'm vaccinated, I'll be fine, because sadly it doesn't work like that. I wish these vaccines were more effective than they are, but they are just not. So I'll leave links to the insurance companies that I use and would recommend, and I will leave different options whether you are based in the US or in the UK or just worldwide, because some of these insurance plans, I know the UK ones, you have to be a UK resident for, but that's not always the one that I use because I'm actually based always all over the place. I use several different companies and I would recommend them, so check out the description. Make sure you always screenshot any of the maps and directions and important information, because even if you have internet connection, even if you bought that SIM card with internet, sometimes it may fail. Printout would be the best, you know. Always have a power bank, you guys. Always have a power bank, because nowadays phone batteries are not great. So always have a power bank on you. In an emergency situation, it's always best to have your family's phone numbers, the address, somewhere on you in a written form, in a notepad, or in like a little note in your purse. When you change places whilst traveling solo, always let somebody know back home exactly where you are. Okay, another point, I'm going to stay in the same location because it's less windy here. It's a bit more like hidden and slightly warmer, even though I'm still freezing, absolutely freezing right now. But yeah, another point is to not get drunk with the people you don't know very well. Even if you met someone in the hostel and they seem like a good friend of yours, or you met someone at the bar and they seem like legit lovely people, you might have a drink or two with them, but don't get smashed. Just don't get smashed in general in public, in the place that you don't know very well, because you are not quite self-aware of what's happening around you. You're way more likely to become a target when you are drunk. So don't get drunk, you guys. Have a few drinks, you can get tipsy with people that you actually get good vibes from, that you know quite well, but don't just go for drinks with someone you don't know, or don't accept drinks from strangers, especially if somebody says, oh, I'll go to the bar and get you a drink. Do not fall for that. Always go to the bar and either get your own drink, or you can get somebody else to get you a drink also, as long as you see the bottle being opened and passed to you. Once again, you may think this is only a female to female tip, but no, guys get spiked also, but usually for different reasons. So usually when guys get spiked, it's most often to rob you, to get all of your belongings, basically. So yeah, don't get drunk, just have a drink or two. Learn to say no to people if they ask you to do something that you don't want to do. The minute my intuition is telling me, okay, this person might be nice, but there's something not quite right about them, I'll get out of that situation as soon as I can. It's best to seem rude and ignore the people that make you feel uncomfortable than be too nice and engage in conversations. I'm pretty sure most people's concern when it comes to traveling solo is loneliness. Not having any friends, anyone to rely on. What if I get sick and I don't have anyone, to go to help me out? What if I would just feel lonely and won't be able to enjoy the wonderful views, the wonderful attractions, because I will be on my own? So, there are different types of people, so maybe this rule doesn't apply to you, in which case you can skip to the next chapter. I find that a lot of people have this concern, and that was actually my biggest concern when traveling on my own. But let me tell you, this concern is actually only in your head. Because if you want to make friends while traveling, you will make far more friends traveling on your own than if you were to travel with other people. This is for two reasons mainly. The first reason is because you'll be more willing to make friends and you will put yourself out there to make more friends. But secondly, and actually most importantly, is the fact that you will attract other single travelers and travelers in general. So you don't even have to approach them if you're not very social, if you struggle with social anxiety or you're a bit shy and you don't feel like you're the type of person to approach people. Trust me, if you travel solo, you are far more likely to have people coming up to you and chatting to you and trying to make friends than if you were traveling with someone else. Solo travelers look for other solo travelers. People are looking to make friends with other people, and it's actually far less intimidating to approach someone who is solo traveling than someone who is traveling as a couple. If you can, stay in hostels. It doesn't have to be dorms. I know a lot of my friend travelers always recommend me staying in dorms because you share space, you are going to be chatting to everyone in no time and making friends and arranging to do things with them. However, for me, I've actually never stayed in a dorm. And it's not even that I didn't want to, but with what I do, it's kind of impossible because I travel with so much stuff. I am a professional videographer. I always travel with cases, so dorms were really never an option for me. The lockers are just simply not big enough. But if you are a backpacker, dorms could be a great option. But if you are not, just be like me, stay in a private room, but make sure your hostel has a communal area, kitchen, communal area, just to like socialize, sit down. Oh my goodness, I couldn't tell you the amount of times I made friends for life in hostels or guest house. It's harder in a private house, of course, because you are less likely to meet a lot of people there, and it's also harder in hotels. But hostels or guest houses, read the reviews, check that they have a communal area, check that a lot of travelers tend to stay there. You can also choose between party hostels, where travelers typically go to party, go for drinks, and work hostels. So these are typically way better for digital nomads, people who work during the day, people who work on their laptops. Then you are likely to have a communal area full of desks or tables with chairs where you can sit down, work on your laptop and make more friends that way. Just make sure if you choose a private room, you don't spend all your time in the private room, especially if you are a digital nomad and you work on your computer. Just head over to the communal area and do some work there. However, if hostels are not really your thing, or you happen to stay in a hostel that's not so sociable and not so friendly and you just don't really vibe with anyone, there are still plenty of other ways to make friends while you're traveling. A very good recommendation is Facebook groups. The best thing is to look for Facebook groups with the name of a city you're staying at or the name of a town you're staying at, expats, or the name digital nomads, or the name travelers traveling, etc. So for example, if you want to stay in Tulum, look for Facebook groups which are called Tulum Digital Nomads or Tulum Expats. Make a post, ideally with a few pictures of yourself. That feels always less intimidating and tends to get more responses and more traffic. So post a few pictures of yourself, put a few pictures of you traveling or of pictures of you in different places, in different countries. Write a short description, say that you only just got to this place, you don't know anyone here, you would love to make friends, and guarantee you'll get some great responses and you'll be able to meet people that way. Another group which I think is absolutely amazing, and I only discovered it this year, but I already made friends through it, and I think it's one of the best groups ever invented, but sadly it only applies for girls. So I'm sorry guys, to any guys who's watching, this will not work for you because you're not going to get accepted to this group because it's made for girls only. But it's actually a Facebook group called Host a Sister, and not only you can find free accommodations wherever you travel with female hosts. You are looking for a place to stay and you'll find a host for free, or you can just put that you are looking for a meetup and meet up with someone from that area. I've been to 33 countries, which may seem like quite a few, but may not seem like enough. However, bear in mind, I've been to some of these countries multiple times. So I've actually traveled my whole entire life, every single year, several times a year, before slowly transitioning to be traveling full time. All the best things in life happen when we step out of our comfort zone. Even taking the minimal risk, getting out of the comfort zone, doing something that feels to you like something you'll be never able to do. You are too scared, you are too anxious, you think, no, I can't do it. I know other people are doing it, but this is not me, this is not my personality. I will be lost, I won't be able to look after myself, I will not be able to make any friends. Well, practice makes perfect, and you will not know these things until you try. And I guarantee you, if you put yourself in that situation where you have to look after yourself, where you have to make friends, or you just really want to make friends because you crave that human connection, where you just have to learn about these different things of how to travel and how to make it work, and oh, what am I going to eat? Oh, I need to plan my expenses. Oh, I need to look after myself. Well, if you have to do something, you will. That's our survival mechanism. And by doing so, you will learn far more in life. You will learn far more about yourself. You will realize how strong you really are, how independent you really are. Life brings so many opportunities. You can do so many things with your life. You can do so many things for a living, so many ways of making money, so many ways of just living the best life that you can. But you're most likely to learn these things by meeting people who are already doing it. Let me tell you just one thing about me. I used to have very severe social anxiety. It came from my childhood experiences that I'm not going to get into because that's not the point. But my point is, I had very severe social anxiety where I was even scared to leave the house and go to a public place. By myself or even with someone, my heartbeat would just be going on like mad. And since traveling, since doing YouTube, look at me now. I've literally went to a local reserve. There has been many people walking past in all these sorts of locations, looking at me, filming with my tripod, with my microphone, with my huge camera, talking to the camera. And I'm very confident about it. I just smile to people. Sometimes I stop recording to letting them, walk past me. I wouldn't want them to feel uncomfortable and get them on camera, but there's me traveling the world, traveling with a tripod, with a camera, filming, doing a lot of social situations which other people find awkward. I often also film with my mini tripod and just vlog with it. It's definitely been a work in process, but I feel like I've succeeded only by throwing myself into the deep water. Otherwise, I would never beat it. Same with my fear of flying. I had an extreme fear of flying after a near-death flight experience that I had when I was 13. I developed such trauma from that experience that for the next 3 years I couldn't even think about going inside the plane. Like, thinking about it in my head would give me such high anxiety. I never thought I would be able to fly again. I can make videos that are far more detailed about all these sorts of experiences, such as my social anxiety or the flight anxiety or the fear of flying. But if you have social anxiety, it's even more important for you to travel by yourself. That's how you are able to heal. And I do think that social anxiety is not something that you can completely heal from. In my experience, for example, when I was locked in the house on my own during lockdown and I couldn't go out to people and socialize, after a while, my social anxiety started to come back. But that's when I knew I had to push myself again. And with any kind of fear in life, I believe that you can overcome it by facing it. So yeah guys, that is the end for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other thoughts, concerns or tips and tricks on how to travel solo, of what to do, leave them down below. Please leave a comment, let me know, and let everyone else know about any of the other tips and tricks and safety tips, as well as maybe words of encouragement, maybe your stories of how you feel about solo traveling, the good experiences, the bad ones, or if you haven't done it before, why haven't you, what's stopping you, and if you are planning on doing it in the future. I would love to start a discussion in the comments about it, hear from you guys, and also let's support each other. I think every traveler should really support one another. Please subscribe to me if you haven't already, because I will be making a lot more of these kinds of videos very shortly. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!